Good evening. It's been a few days since I've been on here live speaking with you guys. I guess it was the last time would have been when we had the mask burning party with my friends. That was a really freeing night for many of my friends to be able to just, burn those masks. It was such a good feeling. And I was just so happy to be a part of it and so happy to share that time with everyone, with all of my Facebook Live friends, all of my friends. So I just want to thank everyone who's joining and who's watching my lives. So tonight I wanted to talk a little bit about the upcoming provincial election. So as many of you already know, I am running for the MPP for Sarnia-Lambton. I'm very, very excited to represent this beautiful community and to be the voice for Sarnia-Lambton. I can't tell you what an honor it is. I am an official candidate, so I have registered as an independent. Now, a lot of you have been asking me about the PPO because I said that I was running with the PPO, and that is true. I am still running with the PPO. People are asking an awful lot of questions about why we're not, some people have looked and saw that we weren't registered. Well, the situation is this. Many of you who have followed the Purple Wave understand that we have the PPC party federally. We can't call ourselves affiliated with that party, but we are their cousin because we do belong to the same Purple Wave. Originally, this party was formed as the Ontario First Party, and our leader was Randy Hillier. That was the plan. And then, as everyone knows, what had happened to Randy Hillier, he is now being charged politically, as far as I'm concerned. Our government has silenced him, and they've charged him for speaking out, speaking for freedom. And so he has stepped out of the running. And so with that, the OFP party and the Ontario First Party was dissolved, and we've started with the PPO party. So it's the Populist Party Ontario. That party will not be registered officially with Elections Ontario until May 4th when the writ drops. But be assured it will be registered. So what we have is we do have a very strong group of people who like me, are ordinary people standing for ordinary people. That's the whole concept that we have. We are not career politicians. We are just standing for the rights and freedoms. We will be the voice for Sarnia-Lambton. We will not, me personally, I can speak for Sarnia-Lambton. I will not sit in my desk. I will not sit there and not answer emails. I will answer emails. I will answer my phone, and I will get onto the streets of Sarnia in with the people, for the people, and I'm going to listen to their concerns, and I will bring them forward to Queen's Park. That is what's important, is that we have a voice in Queen's Park. So basically, that is the idea with all of us who are running with the PPO. Many of you know the Purple Wave. And the truth is, you know what? We all bleed purple. The PPC and the Purple Wave, they've been standing for freedom since the beginning of all of the government overreach. They've been the ones speaking out. They've been the ones who have been, going to the freedom rallies. They're the ones who have been speaking against all of the bills that have been passed through in the House. Whether we had anyone seated, they were the ones that have been speaking out for it. We've heard Maxime Bernier. We've heard Brian Everett speaking. These are both federal, so not to be confused with, federal with provincial, but it's still the same Purple Wave. Anyway, so basically we are just ordinary people standing for ordinary people. The government has just gotten too big. Our government is full of career politicians who are easily bought and paid for. We've seen this happen with the Liberals, with the NDP, and now the Conservative Party. All three are basically, so far, just joined together. We saw the NDP join with the Liberals, and we heard Doug Ford just a few weeks ago talk about how he was so grateful to work in a government that all worked so well together. So really, we don't have a voice of opposition, and that is what the PPO will be, is a voice of opposition. So we are a large group of candidates who are registered currently as independents, and then as soon as the writ drops on May 4th, we will all be running with the PPO. So your Purple Unite for Freedom signs still stand. So with that said, if anyone is interested in having a purple sign, I've still got lots of Unite for Freedom signs. I can get my hands on them, and then on May 4th, I'll be able to drop those PPO signs in your yard. Those of you that, stand for freedom, you need a purple sign. That is the only sign. We are the pioneers of freedom over the last 2 years. We are the people who have been standing out. We are the people that went to Ottawa. We are the people that have been speaking out online. We've been standing up for our rights. As many of you know, I did lose my job at Blue Water Health, a job that I loved. I was a nurse at Blue Water Health. I loved my job as a nurse in that hospital. Nursing is a very big part of who I am. It devastated me, but I do stand by the principles that I was taught in nursing, and that was that every patient has the right to informed consent, and that every patient has the right to refuse medical treatment. That was a big overreach for the government, and it didn't stop just with healthcare workers. As you know, it went throughout the province. And then eventually turned into the vaccine passport. I mean, I could go on for the next hour talking about all of the government overreach that has gone on in the last 2 years over a virus that is basically an endemic, and we do need to learn to live with it. This group of people that I'm running with, we would be the voice of opposition at Queen's Park. So I encourage all of you to go to Google, search out the Populist Party Ontario. You can see a list of our values. You can see what we stand for, and you'll find that we are very similar to the PPC. My goal is to spend as much time as I can campaigning as soon as the writ drops. I'm not allowed to campaign yet, so I'll be speaking with many of you live. I'm hoping to plan a few meet and greets. I'd like to continue to drop signs. Unfortunately, I can't knock on doors and do the full candidate thing, but this is where I'm calling on all of you, because the time between May 4th and June 2nd will go very, very quickly. And we have a lot of ground to cover here in Sarnia-Lambton. Many of you had reached out to me and offered to volunteer for my campaign, and I so welcome all of you to come and give me a hand. So I'm going to ask that you reach out to me here on Facebook or on Messenger. Actually, Messenger is probably the best place if you want to on Messenger. You can also email me at ppo.sarnia.carla@gmail.com. And let me know that you're interested in volunteering. What I'm looking for are people who are willing to knock on doors and drop signs with me, who I'd like to try and have a meeting within the next week so that you can be part of the whole planning of the campaign. It's going to take many, many hands to get this voice into at Queen's Park. So anyway, I just thank you for all the support. Some exciting things are happening this coming weekend on the 29th of April and the 29th and 30th of April. I'm heading to Ottawa. So many of you know that the bikers are making their way to Ottawa. And their whole goal in that isn't so much to protest. They're planning to slow roll through Ottawa and go to the War Memorial and lay a wreath. And the reason they want to lay this wreath is not only out of respect for the veterans that have fought for our freedoms in the past, those ones that we held so dearly until the government tried to take them from us, but also for the veterans that were in Ottawa standing for freedom, even back in January, February, the ones that were beaten on that last weekend. There were many veterans that were beaten by the police, disrespected by the police. And so we just lay a wreath in remembrance and and out of gratitude for our veterans. So it's a little ceremony for that, and then they will continue to rally around. It is a peaceful gathering. They're not calling it a protest because it isn't a protest. There will be Canadian flags, but Canadian flags don't necessarily mean a protest. It just means that we're proud Canadians and that we are showing our pride for this country, and that we do stand in freedom. So there will be Canadian flags. The bikers, there's going to be quite a show of bikers. I'm really excited to go there and be a part of this, and I will be capturing it all live. One thing that I'm very interested to see is the government's response. I don't know how many of you still watch mainstream media, but the mainstream media is already getting a little bit worked up about this rally that's coming to Ottawa on the 29th and the 30th. They're saying that they're expecting something like 500 to 1,000 bikers. Didn't they say that that's who was going to be there for the Freedom Convoy? So we don't know. Their data is probably skewed, as you know. Our government and our legacy media do have a habit of messing the data up. Their numbers are usually wrong. So we'll just see how many people are there. But in light of Bill 100 that was passed like a thief in the night, many of you know already about this just a couple of weeks ago, that was passed very secretly like a thief in the night through the legislature. It made it to the Royal Assent. So that bill has passed. And, on the surface, Bill 100 doesn't look like it would be taking too many of our rights away. It does talk about, it's about, it's meant more for people who are blocking any infrastructure or it's to prevent transports essentially from blocking the borders again, like they did at Windsor and Sarnia. And blocking infrastructure. They say that they can take away licenses, that they can, impound vehicles, that they can impose fines, arrests without cause, without warrant. But really, that's how it looks on the surface. But as you know, our government and its current nefarious ways, it goes a little deeper than that. I think that this is just a way for the Ford government to continue with their Emergency Act so that they can continue with the same power that they had, that was imposed upon citizens during, any of the lockdowns when he was under the Emergency Act. He just wants to have control. They're saying things about public spaces. So is there a chance that they could, people are fearing that they're going to stop us from protesting? Well, they could try, but personally, I won't stop protesting. I'll never stop fighting for freedom. So I'm just interested to see how far the government's going to try and take it, their actions on this weekend in Ottawa. I will add that it is not a protest. It is a rally, and it's basically a ceremony of laying a wreath out of respect for the veterans. So I hope many of you will join me while I'm going live there, and I do know that many are going. Cars are not, they're asking, the organizers are asking that cars do not join the convoy portion. They're really not calling it a convoy, but the portion when the bikes are driving to Ottawa, because as you can imagine how dangerous it would be to have cars and bikes all within the same lane. So please, if you do decide to go to Ottawa and you do come across, all of the bikes, get around them, get ahead of them, don't try to drive with them. Go before them, go after them, and go and park your car and walk to that area and check things out. Let this really be about the bikers and their show of respect for the veterans. So a lot of exciting things coming up. In Sarnia-Lambton, still every Saturday, people are meeting and still declaring their freedom down at City Hall, waving their flags, gathering in unity, showing love and unity for one another, love for this community. And in another way that people who stand for freedom are, and also just citizens of Sarnia-Lambton who happen to love this community, are showing their appreciation for the community. Is happening on Sundays. So on Sundays, there is a group that is gathering every Sunday and picking a new spot in Sarnia-Lambton to just simply do a community garbage cleanup. So basically it's an outreach. They're just cleaning the streets, just to showing that sense of community, that same thing that we saw in Ottawa. You remember the people that were constantly cleaning the streets in Ottawa. Residents of Ottawa said that they never saw the downtown core so clean as when, these freedom people, that's what they were calling them, freedom people, the freedom fighters, were together and, formed that community just to keep the area clean. They were cleaning the snow from the streets. Everything was just done so beautifully. And that's what happens when you become unified and you work together. Many hands make light work, right? So this weekend, I believe it's at Germain Park. I am going to come on again before the weekend, just to confirm that. And I think the time is 1 o'clock, and there will be a group of people. They're asking that you bring gloves. I think garbage bags are provided for that. I won't be able to be there. Wait, today's Saturday, so it is tomorrow. I'll come on in a few. I'll put in the comments that it's at Germain Park because that's where I think it is, but I'm not 100% sure. Kind of came on impromptu tonight. Yeah, so that is tomorrow. Today is Saturday. I can't be at it tomorrow because I am working days tomorrow. So I will put that in the comments. So, but I do believe it is at 1 o'clock and it's at Germain Park. What did someone say? Yes, Bill 100 passed with lightning speed. Absolutely, it did. And what I think is very nefarious about it is the way that it passed. I still keep shaking my head and trying to figure out whether or not it was even legal that they did that kind of in the secret of the night. But I mean, how do we know? There's so many things that our government is overreaching and doing wrong, and that's why we need more accountability in those seats at Queen's Park. You know, I mean, it's so much is happening federally and provincially that we just can't keep up. You know, it's one thing after another. Doug Ford is coming out with lots of shiny little gifts in preparation for the upcoming election. Justin Trudeau and the Liberal, I call them the Nibberals because they are NDP Liberals, but I mean, we've got to come up with one to combine all three now, apparently. They're constantly trying to push things through. We know that Doug Ford wants to enforce digital identity coming in July. I'm going to come on another live and we're going to talk a little bit more organized about digital identity and the dangers of that. I'm sure that many of you have been looking into it, and I encourage you to continue to research before I even come on and speak about that. So yeah, the government is just doing so many things so very quickly just to distract and to just gain more and more control. So that's why it's more important than ever that we continue to stand, we continue to be unified, and we continue to bring our voices to Queen's Park. We can start there. Continue to write letters to the Senate, continue to write letters to your MP, continue to call and write letters to your MPP. Don't stop these things. I mean, the election is June 2nd. So we can still continue to talk about digital identity. We can write those letters, send them to Doug Ford's office, send them to your MPP, tell them that we don't stand for digital identity and that we're just going to refuse, and tell them what you believe the dangers are. Let them know that you're on to them. Be very, very frank and honest with them. Anyway, so it's getting late and I do have to work tomorrow, but I just wanted to come on and just share that, yes, I am in fact running with the PPO. And so I will be bringing forth the Purple Wave. We will be registered. Don't fear. We will be registered as soon as the writ drops. I will have PPO signs. And I'm still looking for volunteers. So if you can reach out to me on Messenger, if you're someone who you think you would like to come and knock doors with me and put up signs, if you'd like to help me organize events, things like that, reach out to me on Messenger. Because I can't do this alone. We need to do this as a team. This is not a one-woman show. This is an all of us show. I'm there for you. I will be your voice, but it's not my voice. It's all of our voices. We're all in this together, literally. Not in the way that Justin Trudeau says we're all in this together. I think we're all in this freedom fight together. So let's stay together in this. So if you think volunteering is something that you'd be interested in doing, I could really use the help. So you can reach out to me on Messenger, or you could email me at my PPO email, which is ppo.sarnia.carla@gmail.com. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and thanks for all of your support. I hope that some of you can get out to, I think it is Germain Park, but like I said, I will put it in the comments tomorrow and be part of the community just to keep this community clean. I hope that many of you can get to Ottawa and see this ceremony in respect and honor to the veterans. And if you can't make it to Ottawa, I will be bringing it to you live. I will be interviewing some of the other candidates also from for the PPO. I will probably put out an interview with our leader, Jim Torma, so you'll be able to meet him and speak to him a little bit, hear where he's coming from. It's going to be a great weekend. So anyway, I'm off to bed and off to work, and I wish you all a very good sleep. And I just want to remind you to be kind and be Canadian.